As you can see from the diagram, our thoughts, those words in our head that we use to describe what's happening, drive our feelings, and then our feelings drive our behavior. Cognitive behavior therapy has focused on the words we use to describe events as drivers of those emotions that can sometimes cause us problems. If we describe our world in terms of doom, defeat, and despair, we're very likely to end up feeling depressed. If, on the other hand, we can force ourselves to describe our world in sunny, uplifting, optimistic terms, then depression can be held at bay. Sounds simple, right? Well, it's a little more difficult than I've made it. Old thinking habits are really hard to change. Most of us divide our self-talk words into two basic groups. We can label these as positive self-talk and negative self-talk. Positive self-talk keeps our stresses down, keeps depression away, and helps us keep our heads clear so we can make good decisions. Negative self-talk, on the other hand, increases our stress and drives our anxiety and depression. Remember doom, defeat, and despair? Negative self-talk. When we look at how a parent might use self-talk, let's start with an example of negative self-talk because most of us learn to use that kind of self-talk and use it out of habit. Let's now assume that the parent has just told her child to hurry because they're running late. But hurry is not a part of the child's vocabulary. So she just takes her time with her socks and shoes, pausing to sing a little song that she learned in preschool, which is then followed by just staring off into space. By now, the parent is looking at this situation as potentially catastrophic, a disaster in the making. She's probably saying to herself things like, "We'll never get there on time. Everybody there will think I'm not a good parent. My daughter is always dawdling and making us late. I can't stand this." So given this self-talk, how do you suppose this mom is feeling right now? Stressed? Anxious? Depressed? Oh, and let's not forget angry, really, really mad. The key negative self-talk here involves those words that exaggerate the situation, such as never, everybody, always, and can't stand it. When we use logic, we can see the words never, which means not ever, no time in the past or future, is not true. This child might have gotten ready in time before and may after this event. In the same way, the word always means for all the past and future, or forever. Not true either, is it? And can't stand it. Does that mean the mom will die if this dawdling continues? The truth is, she stood it before and she can stand it again. See how this kind of exaggeration works to make us crazy? Let's now change these words to something milder by using positive self-talk. My daughter dawdles, but it's not the end of the world. If we're late, it is what it is, and I don't care what others think. I'm doing the best I can, and I can manage being late because I have before and probably will be again. I should ask our pediatrician if my daughter's behavior is normal and if there's something I can do about it. Now, how do you suppose this mom feels? Maybe a little annoyed, but not overwhelmed, and she is far less likely to yell, threaten, or punish her little daughter out of frustration. And there's a bonus. Parents can teach their children how to use positive self-talk by talking out loud as a model of positive self-talk. Talking aloud while resolving difficult events not only keep the parents focused on what she's supposed to be doing, but also show her how her positive self-talk works. And no matter what anybody says, talking to yourself is a good thing to do. Let's use another example here. Assume the child spills his milk and the parent's self-talk automatically goes to, "This is awful, what a mess." That self-talk can be shifted to positive by saying aloud, "Hey, no big deal, let's get the sponge and clean it up. We can handle this." Can you feel the difference? Helping parents keep self-talk calm and constructive will provide a model to help their child avoid the bad habit of exaggerating events as awful disasters instead of treating them as tolerable and fixable. It's bad enough having to deal with a problem without making it worse by self-talk that raises stress and drives anxiety and depression. And that negative self-talk can lead to parents to make unhealthy parenting decisions that are also unhealthy to the child. Now, just for fun, think about your own self-talk that makes you feel stressed and angry. You know, like driving in heavy traffic. See if you can change the self-talk so you can feel better. After all, your anger won't change the traffic.